Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're talking about area and perimeter of two-dimensional shapes, okay? So it's very important that you review the previous videos in this series. So because as we keep going forward, the next video is built on the knowledge of the previous, okay? So we're going to talk about perimeter and area. So before I proceed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you've not clicked the notification bell, I don't know what you're waiting for. All right, so let's dive into it. Now, when we talk about the perimeter, the perimeter of a two-dimensional shape is the total distance around that shape, okay? So, for example, if it's something like that has a straight size, like triangle, rectangle, maybe square or polygon, the perimeter is the sum of the lengths of all the sides. Now, but unlike area, okay, area of for a two-dimensional shape is the space enclosed within the perimeter of that given shape. So to calculate the area is different for different shapes. So based on the formula, we'll now determine, oh sorry, based on the shape, we'll now determine the type of formula that we're going to use or the characteristics of that shape. So in this video, we're going to talk about triangle, square, rectangle, trapezium. But I'm not going to talk about circle because I've discussed circle in the beginning of this series. So to find the area and perimeter of a circle, you need to just go back to the beginning of the series and see, and you can find that. So because I'm aware that some students do take notes from this, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to write it, write what I just said down. So when we talk about the perimeter and when we talk about the area. So the perimeter, all right, the perimeter of a two-dimensional shape is the total distance around the respective shape. So for figures with straight sides like triangle and rectangle, is basically talking about when you just sum the lengths of all the sides, okay? So for figures with straight sides, such as triangle, another one is rectangle, let's say square, and a common one could be like a polygon, okay? So for this type, the perimeter is the sum of the lengths for all sides. Okay. Then this is partly a little bit different for area. So if it's the area of a two-dimensional shape, so we're looking at the space that's enclosed within the perimeter, okay? So the area, so take this a bit up. So the area for a two-dimensional shape is the space enclosed within the perimeter of the given shape. Okay, so now is the space enclosed within the perimeter of that given shape? So now to calculate the areas, it varies. So it depends on the formulas, or it depends on the size or characteristics of that shape, like the angles and the angle between the sides, or the types of angles and the rest of it. So we'll talk about each of these very soon. So to calculate the area for different shapes, we use different formulas. Okay, so we use different formulas based on the number of sides and other characteristics. Okay. For instance, some characteristics such as angles, such as the angles between the sides. So sometimes if this angle between the sides, we have a right angle, or we have an acute angle, or also so many things, maybe in a triangle. So all those factors you need to take into consideration on determining the shape of that. So, but in this video, we're going to talk about the areas and shapes we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about the area and perimeters for some shapes. So we'll talk about the area and perimeter. So we'll talk about both of them. So the area and perimeter that we'll talk about here. Like I said, for circle, I'm not going to talk about that because we've discussed this already. All right. So it's already been discussed. So please go to the series and just search for that area of a circle. We talked about area of a sector. We talked about how to find circumference of a circle and all the stuff. We've discussed this already. So, but in this series here, we're going to talk about things like how to find the area and perimeter of a triangle. Okay, although I've talked some of this already in when I was talking about and coordinate geometry, what we're talking about with vertices and stuff. But I'm gonna just repeat it here because it's important. I talk about it again. Now, the next part I'm going to talk about how to find the area and perimeter of a rectangle. Okay. Then I'm going to end it up to finding the area and perimeter of a trapezium. Okay. So we're going to talk about triangle, rectangle, and we're going to talk about the trapezium as well. So these are the three I'm going to focus on in this video. I can also throw in one of them. I can also throw one more. Maybe I can throw in how to find the area and perimeter of a square. Okay. I can throw that in. It might be helpful to some students. So, but we'll talk about how do we find the area and perimeter of each of this. So the next video, I'm going to start with how do we find the area of a triangle. Then I'm going to build it up to different shapes, 2D shapes for this. All right, so I'm going to stop here so that I'm going to start a new videos on how to find the area and perimeter of a triangle. So it's important that you try as much as possible to subscribe and also click the notification bell so that when I post the next video, you'll be the first person to know. All right, so as I always say, if you have any question, feel free to send me an email, or you can put it in the comment section and I'm going to respond to you as soon as I can. All right, so see you soon, and I'll talk about the area and perimeter of a triangle.